If I could be your hero, baby. That's what he sounded like Oscar needed. A hero. If I could be your hero, baby. Enrique Iglesias said he was receiving the death threats. Right? Well, death threats will always be taken serious, right? You know, because you don't know if you are in imminent danger. You don't know if they really do have the means and the intent to go with their plan and all that stuff, right? They should always be taken, and you don't know the severity of it, right? Like the likelihood and all this stuff, because where all these death threats can come from, whether or not it's by way of online and stuff like that, you don't have a full picture on where it's coming from and who it's coming from and stuff like that, because you don't know if these people really do mean business. So I'm pretty sure he pays people to do this type of thing, right? I'm not making no excuses for him or anything like that on why he didn't show up, but there's no way. Hold up. There's no way I could prove otherwise that it is indeed true. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like. Sometimes I do it. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like I have a disdain for Oscar or anything like that. I don't hate the guy or anything like that. I don't know what the. Oh, that was from that little cheesy Slim Jim thing I was eating. That didn't, whatever that was in there, tastes like I was eating a piece of plastic. I don't have no disdain for him or nothing like that, but only thing I'm saying is really, I can't prove it until otherwise. You know, I'm just gonna let it be where I'm not just gonna let it be where it be, man. He says he received death threats, and that's what it was. He say Bernard couldn't go to the fight because of an investigation or whatever. Now that part right there. Now that part on Hopkins, right? That part should be able to be cleared in front of the whole public. That part right there. Because whoever is banning you from not coming to a fight should be the commission, right? Should be the commission. So that sucks. That absolutely sucks. That absolutely sucks. And I hear Bernard is complaining about Floyd all up on the ring and shit like that. I don't care about that, man. Yeah, that's fucked up. You wasn't able to go, but this dude is doing this in the third. But you did inch yourself way over there on the other side and put your hands on somebody, right? But what's up, Bruce? What's happening? But as far as like, do I believe Bernard Hopkins would put some steroids on somebody's skin? Nah, I don't believe he would do that. Is it possible that somebody would do that? Yeah, it's possible somebody would do that. But I don't think that's what really his intentions was. I think he really was just trying to make sure that his fighter wasn't getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen over the years how Tank Davis acts at these press conferences. And I think somebody needs to do something about it. As far as Floyd banging on the ring and sitting next to the ring, I don't care about that. But these fighters, during these weigh-ins and these face-offs, they do need to start keeping their motherfucking hands to themselves. And the ones that are deemed habituals need to know that there will be consequences for that, because anything can happen. You push the guy off the stage, the fight could have been postponed because he twisted his ankle or tweaked his knee or something like that. God knows what. You know, then the other side, you know, might punch your lights out. You know? Or hurt you. Or hurt themselves. In the midst of it all. But the habituals, there should be something involved to where, you know, instead of the trainer and people from the broadcast or Edward Hearn or whoever in the middle, what is it? Who was that? Adam Schaefer in the middle? Them just being the enforcer. It needs to be, something needs to happen with that. Like, I know you want to sell the fight and stuff like that, but the fight is pretty much already sold. And no grown ass man is gonna sit there and let you just put your hands on them without ramifications. You know? So, but you know, as far as like the death threats and all that shit, you know, a lot of people ain't did, like, I happen to do a couple things in my lifetime, but the last straw of me doing security was when I did armed security for my buddy's security business. That was my last straw. I never worked security again. I can't do it. I'm gonna end up, because I already know somebody gonna get fucked up. I'm gonna put hands on somebody, you know. And when you put hands on somebody as security, you think that person or them people ain't gonna come back with their friends and shoot that motherfucker up? Yeah, you got a gun, but you got a job to do, patting people down, listening to the fucking radio, making sure people ain't slipping through the back door, stopping fights, breaking up fights, stopping the police from coming, all kind of mitigation and de-escalation type of shit, and intel and all that shit. Man, security don't want to get involved in that shit. Security is there for a reason, but security don't want to be in the situation to where somebody does not listen to them and you can't really protect them. If you receive a known threat, and this threat, the severity of the severity of it being imminent is high, and the person that you are trying to protect don't want to listen to you, what the fuck you think is gonna happen? The people that's doing the security and the person that you're supposed to protect could get hurt. And then the people that's around could get hurt. I heard somebody say, oh, the press conference was just for this, that, and the third, whoop-de-whoop-whoop. You think the security in them damn stadiums is built necessarily like that? Most of the security in that stadium, you might as well go ahead and mount them to a hallway fucking monitor. You might as well go and equate them to the person at Walmart, the greeter, the person that's, can I see your receipt? You might as well equate them to that, because most of them ain't trying to get no confrontation. They just gonna get on the radio and hope the sheriff's department or the police department people or the people that do the real security show up. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think it takes so long sometimes for people to come through and break up them fights in them stadiums? Because a lot of people, they know breaking up a fight, you become a liability. From putting hands on somebody and beating them down to the ground, or the person that's fighting whooping your ass, stabbing you or shooting you. You know? People need to start paying attention to this shit, man. Liabilities. Everybody had an opinion when it came to Tekashi 6ix9ine and his security and what they have to go through to protect this dude, right? Right? Everybody had opinions with that. Everybody have opinions with a lot of things, but like Like, keep them as opinions, but I'm not gonna sit up over here and say the man is lying when I can't prove it. The only thing that can be proved, is the Bernard Hopkins situation. That's the only thing that can be proved, that can be debunked. That's the only thing that can be debunked. Him receiving death threats, what you want proof from him? His security team ain't gonna say shit unless he gets a new one. But then they probably signed an NDA because of all the shit that they see. So they probably can't even talk about it without risking the lawsuit. Who's gonna tell you? I tell people all the time, man. People need to stop being so quick to condemn people. You know? You don't know why. You don't even know why Oscar De La Hoya is receiving death threats. You don't know because he owed money. You don't know because he snorted up somebody's too much of their coke, fucked somebody's bitch, somebody's wife, took somebody off the undercard, didn't put a fighter on, didn't pay a fighter enough money, and you don't know who it's from. You don't know who it's from. You don't know if it's from somebody in the U.S. or somebody outside the U.S. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, in this day and age of social media, with a way where people could send death threats anonymously, you don't know if they serious. Because you can't put an entity, you can't put a face to it, you can't put nothing to it. You don't know if they serious. And if you're saying that you're receiving death threats before the fight and the date of the fight, you can't do nothing but let that man, let it be what it is. Just let it be what it is. You know? Just let it be what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it makes absolutely sense if you receiving a lot of death threats not to show up to an event. Because it wasn't just the press conference. It was the whole night with a jam-packed stadium. Right? With a jam-packed stadium. So you mean to tell me if it is true, you mean to tell me he should have went anyways, put himself at risk, his security at risk, and everybody around him in that arena at risk, including his fighter? Nah, he did right. If it is true. He did right if it is true. You know? Because that's the main thing about doing security, like I said. It's like protecting your little asset. Now, and only that, protecting them from the fucking cells. Because sometimes you have to do mitigation shit because they don't want to listen. They think, some people really think it's a fucking game. Your life is not a fucking game. Your life is not a fucking game. It ain't nothing to be played with. You know what I'm saying? You might feel like you want to go to the store all by yourself, but security is tell you no, and you wonder why something bad happened. You know, that's the name of the game. And then last but not least, this whole the face of boxing bullshit, right? I don't give a fuck who's the fucking face of boxing. I don't care if it's Canelo. I don't care if it's Haney. I don't care if it's Tank. I don't care if it's Ryan. I don't care if it's Deontay Wilder. I don't care if it's AJ. I don't care if it's Usyk. I don't care if it was fucking Dillian White. I don't give a fuck who it. I don't give a fuck if it's Loma. I don't give a fuck if it's Inoue. I don't give a fuck who it is. Only thing I give a fuck about is these fights happening. Is good, great, excellent fights happening. That's it. All that other fugazi ass shit, I don't care. And I see people bringing it up on Twitter, here and there, whoop whoop whoop. You know, I don't care. It's yeah, right. Bruce Gass is the face of boxing. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, I don't care if Tank Davis, they say it and they want to poster it all over Showtime and ESPN, YouTube channel and on a news feeds and stuff like that. It doesn't matter, right? If that's what you want to believe, that's what you want to believe. And that's all there is to it. And as far as these pound for pound shit, most of it doesn't even matter. We see people that's undisputed, right? But still undisputed is still disputable, because a lot of these cats ain't fought each other yet. You know what I'm saying? And you could, for argument, anybody could say Devin Haney is the face of boxing, and I'm not gonna sit up there and contest with him. You know, yesterday I would, actually this morning I would, but I ain't doing it no more because it's irrelevant. It's highly irrelevant. It's whoever wins, Loma versus Haney, whoever wins in that fight, what's the next step up from that fight? And there's only one name that should ring a bell, right? We shouldn't be. Nobody else should be in contention, right? Nobody else should be in contention on who should be next, or people making polls and saying, who do you want to see next? There's only one answer, and that's the face of boxing, Bruce Gas. There should only be one fucking answer, man. There should only be one fucking answer. You know, for that. You know, I see. I said this a long time ago. Folks just want to be somebody. They want to be known. They want to be somebody on social media, right? And that's the reason why they put these polls out there and talking about who's the face of boxing and stuff like that, because everybody wants to be somebody, and that's what get people listening to it. People really want to hear people talk about who's the face of boxing. People really want to hear people talk about Oscar De La Hoya lying about death threats. Right? I seriously hope if anybody's saying he lied about death threats, at least putting out there that they don't know. This is just their opinion and not speaking as if it is fact. Because what if it comes out and he could prove that he did was having death threats, and it's provable. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of this shit, man, I like to amount it to just straight pure fuckery. Straight pure fuckery. Because if I was a boxer, a part of me probably wouldn't want to bring up people's names because of how some of these boxing fans talk. How they run their mouth. You know? We see boxers call other boxers out, and then we see how they get treated. But then when somebody else do it, it's a whole nother ball game. It don't matter. And half the time when people call each other out, look at all these fugazi ass videos that get put out there. You know? Imagine if Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence Jr. came out and said they was actually fucking in negotiations. People wouldn't even know how to handle it. They'll be running their motherfucking mouth. They'll man, it'd be a whole nother little fucking lip fuck fest. On that note, shout outs to everybody in the whole entire boxing world, and everybody stay sucker free.